It was in my last year of school that I was very interested in working with children with disabilities. And I went to see a gentleman who was actually very sick at the moment, a Mr. Bob Stewart, who had previously been an All Black captain and a great friend of my father's. And he was into vocational careers direction. So the teachers at school sent me along to him. And I told him where my interest was, and he said, I know the school in Carterton. Why don't you go and visit the sisters there? So he gave me the address and who to contact. I got on a train, went to Carterton, and met the Sisters of Compassion. And they were running this school for children, and I just fell in love with it. And I said to one of the sisters, who was Sister Dorothea, I said, oh, how do I get into this work? This is what I want to do. And she says, oh, you could join the sisters, you could enter the convent. I said, oh, you got to be joking. I said, that would be the last thing I'd want to do. And so I went back to school, and the next year I went to Teachers College in Palmerston North, became a teacher. Still a little bit interested in the working with these children. I tried to find out, where I could go. And at that time I could do some training in Australia or in England. And I couldn't afford to do that at that time. So I went back to the sisters in Carterton, and of course a lot more interested in the work with my teaching background. And I was still very interested, and they were still encouraging me, well, write to the Reverend Mother, you could join the sisters. No, didn't want to do that. And so I was actually teaching in Flaxmere at a school there before the sisters were there, and a very high Maori Polynesian population there, and I really loved the work there. Then I had to make a decision. Would I continue working in the government schools, or would I go into Catholic schools? Would I join the convent? And so I wrote to the Reverend Mother here and made inquiries. I came down on one of the school holidays, was supposed to stay a fortnight. Not a fortnight, that's far too long. A weekend. I think I stayed one night. Bernadette Mary was the novice mistress at the time. It was the old home, and it was very awe-inspiring, and just what was happening, I think it was quite overwhelming. But I went back home, made the decision to write, and the next January I joined the sisters. Thought, well, God, I'll give it 3 years. After 3 years, I'll go away, continue teaching, find someone nice and get married. But I didn't go home, I stayed. And reflecting back on 25 years plus, it's been the right decision for me.